Hi, everyone. The time is 5 p.m. Eastern, and we'll now start the virtual public scoping meeting for the Atlantic Shores North Project Environmental Impact Statement, or EIS. Thank you, everyone, for participating. My name's Pam Chanel, and I'll serve as the facilitator for today's meeting. I'm with ICF, the independent third-party contractor supporting the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, or BOEM. I do want to note that this meeting is being recorded, and if you do not wish to be part of this recorded meeting, please disconnect from the call. Closed captions are also available and can be enabled by clicking the Show Captions button at the bottom of your screen. The recording of this meeting will be posted on the project website in the coming week. Let's review the agenda for today's meeting. We'll begin with opening remarks and a few presentations, which should take about an hour. First, Karen Baker, Chief of the Office of Renewable Energy Programs with the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, will provide a few opening remarks. And next, I'm sure that many of us have become familiar with Zoom over the past few years, but we'll review a few of the tips for the Zoom platform, and I'll point out some of the key features we'll be using today. We'll then move on to a few presentations. The first on the leasing process background will be given by Kirby Roots-Murdy, the project coordinator in the Office of Renewable Energy Programs with BOEM. Next, we'll have a National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, presentation from Kimberly Sullivan, the BOEM Atlantic Shores North NEPA coordinator. After these presentations, we'll take a quick break before we reconvene for a few pre-recorded presentations. We'll then play 3 pre-recorded presentations. First, Stephanie Wilson with Atlantic Shores will provide a project overview. Next, Kevin Dillon from the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, or BPU, will provide an overview of the BPU's role in the offshore wind in New Jersey. And finally, Katie Nolan from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, or DEP, will provide an overview of DEP's role in the offshore wind development. At the conclusion of these presentations, we'll take a short break before we reconvene to take public comments. And then following public comments, we'll take another quick break and conclude with a question and answer session. Additional breaks may be taken to accommodate our court reporter and our captioning team. Another resource that may be helpful is the Atlantic Shores North virtual meeting room. The virtual meeting room can be accessed at https://www.boem.gov/Atlantic-shores-north-NOI-web-virtual-meeting-room. And we've included that link in the chat so that it's easier for you to get to. The virtual meeting room includes publications and information related to the project, including the Notice of Intent, the Construction and Operations Plan, or COP, and appendices, and the dates and times of the public meetings. Additional resources, including the slides accompanying today's presentation and a recording of today's meeting, will be posted to BOEM's virtual meeting room. We do have a full agenda for today, so let's get started. I'd like to introduce Karen Baker, Chief of the Office of Renewable Energy Programs with BOEM, for some introductory remarks.
This lady's voice.
Karen?
Hello, my name is Karen Baker, and I'm the Chief of the Office of Renewable Energy Programs at the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, or BOEM. Welcome to the public scoping meetings for BOEM's review of the Atlantic Shores Offshore Wind North project. For those of you who aren't familiar with BOEM, we are a federal bureau within the Department of Interior that oversees the development of our energy and mineral resources in the nation's outer continental shelf, or OCS. The OCS extends in most areas from about 3 miles offshore to the full extent of the exclusive economic zone, approximately 200 miles offshore. BOEM is responsible for the expeditious and orderly development of the energy resources of the OCS, including renewables like offshore wind. It's our job to ensure this development is done in an environmentally and economically responsible way. This process starts with public input, data gathering, review, and leasing. Your participation and feedback today are important. An offshore wind project is considered a major federal action, and as a result, we are preparing an Environmental Impact Statement, or EIS, under the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA. This NEPA process helps ensure all relevant information and analysis are included in decision-making. This meeting is an opportunity for us to hear your concerns and information regarding the scope of the environmental impact analysis. This is your time to be heard. We consider public input to be a critical component of safe and responsible offshore resource management. BOEM team members are here to answer your questions and to listen to your input and to help you provide comments. Thanks so much for coming. We're here to listen and answer your questions. Please help us provide a meaningful, safe, and respectful meeting for everyone.
Thanks so much, Karen. I wanted to take just a minute or two to review the features that we'll be using during our Zoom meeting today. At any time during the meeting, if you need assistance with the Zoom platform, you can use the chat feature located at the bottom of your screen to message the meeting host, or you can send an email to ASOW_north@icf.com, and we'll put that into the chat for you. We appreciate you participating in this virtual public meeting. Please make note of the phone number for this public meeting. The phone number is 888-788-0099. The meeting ID is 841-2761-9312, and the password is 360728. If you experience difficulty with your internet connection at any point during the meeting, you can call this number to listen to the meeting. Additionally, individual internet connections and bandwidths can vary, and they may impact your viewing experience. So we recommend closing all apps and programs and limiting other streaming or downloads while you're participating in this meeting. And finally, we're running this meeting using Zoom Webinar, which mutes all participants and restricts video feeds. When we get to the public comment portion of today's meeting, the host will unmute you. For any media representatives that joined the meeting today, please contact Brian Walsh at brian.walsh@boem.gov. You can also direct inquiries to BOEM Public Affairs at boem.gov. Before we begin, I want to review some ground rules for today's virtual public meeting. As previously stated, we'll provide a few presentations before accepting public comments, and then BOEM will answer any clarifying questions raised during the meeting. When we get to the comment period during today's call, I'll call on the people who requested to make a comment when they registered. All names will be called in the order in which we received your registration. After all those folks have commented, I'll ask if anyone else would like to make a comment. You would then use the raise your hand feature on the Zoom platform, or if you're calling in from a phone, you'll type *9, and I'll call on people to comment in the order in which they raise their hand. During the comment period, I'll post the names of the next few speakers in the chat so you can see when your turn's coming. And I'll ask the speakers to raise their hand using the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen, or to press *9 if you called in by phone. When I call your name, you'll receive a pop-up box on your screen that'll allow you to unmute yourself to make your comment. We ask that there's no use of pre-recorded audio or political statements not related to the project included in your comment. Please limit your comments to no more than 5 minutes. Please note that comments can also be submitted through regulations.gov and via the U.S. mail. And all comments, whether received orally or in writing, are weighted equally. Throughout today's meeting, if you think of a question that you need clarified, please type your question into the question and answer box on the Zoom platform. When we get to the question and answer portion of today's meeting, BOEM staff will answer your clarifying questions. When BOEM staff receive your question via the question and answer box and begin to review and respond to your question, that question will be moved to the dismissed category in the Zoom platform. And that change in status indicates that BOEM's actively working on a response to your question. We'll review all of this again before the comment period and before the question and answer session. So please keep in mind that this meeting is being recorded and transcribed, and I'd ask that there be no inappropriate language. We appreciate the opportunity to share these project updates and this process with all of you. Again, the purpose of this virtual public meeting is to share information about the project and to receive your public scoping comments.